So Tom Lee claims that the US government and other global governments are planning to do something that could lead to the cryptocurrency industry experiencing unprecedented growth in the coming years. If this scheme is successful, it is going to be absolutely mind-blowing when it finally comes to fruition. But there are a few crucial signs that you guys must focus on if you don't want to miss out on all these improvements. So do your best to work on these indicators right now or miss out on all these benefits. Let's watch the video and listen to Tom Lee's take on the situation. Eventually, they're caught because they're bidding on the same money. I think you're aware that I think Bitcoin might have been struggling earlier this year because of some of the deleveraging that was happening. It's designed for large-scale investors that are believe that the suppression of Bitcoin, especially over the weekends, was caused by people selling what they could. However, now that the deleveraging process is complete, I believe that Bitcoin will catch up to gold. As you may know, the previous peak for Bitcoin was over 110,000. So there's a lot of possible rise of Bitcoin as an alternative to the dollar as an asset class. If you're an investor in the stock market and find stocks attractive, you should be aware that volatility is a constant companion. Are you of the belief that the VIX peak of April 7th is still valid? I'm in agreement with you. I think it will be. I think we have probably passed the point of maximum uncertainty. Despite all the criticism from the Fed, I'm not sure if we've reached the point of maximum suffering. To be honest, I still think there's a chance that markets will be cautious due to economic ramifications, but it's difficult to get the same level of terror again. It would be tough to recreate that nerve-wracking experience. It seems like a structural load has been applied. As a result, a lot of the worry about tariffs is starting to fade, and the markets are showing signs of a nice bounce. We even saw Bitcoin's price go up to as high as, for a short while, the price of a coin reached 95,000 at 0 cents. This sparked a lot of enthusiasm among many because we're getting close to the all-time high of over $100, 0 cents per coin again. If we can reach that level, things will be looking up in the future. Bitcoin sector, once again, this is because individuals will recoup a substantial portion of the losses they endured due to the ongoing trade war and tariffs. Additionally, the Federal Reserve and the European Union will simultaneously lower interest rates and increase the money supply, which, in my view, is essentially the perfect storm, just what we need at the moment. Plus, there will be a confluence of factors happening all at once, so bear in mind that there are a few other criteria to think about as well. This will let us trade around this and profit greatly from the inevitable ups and downs and dramatic swings. We need to know how the Fed, the government, and the markets will behave soon, so pay attention. To be honest, I'm not sure if I truly believe that it will be difficult to equalize, but one could gain a great deal more. You should realize that people were in a state of the terrifying. And Johnny, do you honestly believe that this will not be as disastrous as some are predicting, on par with other catastrophic market crashes? With that said, I was wondering if you could tell me the specifics of whether the S&P 500 index has hit rock bottom, because since we started losing 14% or something along those lines. Just a few weeks ago, we set a new low lap of 4,800, which was the lowest we've ever been. By the way, did you know that there's another place where people trade stocks? It's the New York Stock Exchange. You were the one who was ringing the bell there, if my attribution is true. Our organization is really ringing the bell. We're on our fondness for them, and we were on the 9:30 IEM New York Stock Exchange this morning. But you're really on top of things, because one of your exchange-traded funds, ETFs, has hit $1 billion, 0 cents. You call it the granny shot. I'm shooting from below, so you're right. Oh, I suppose you could add more backspin. They can reach up to 95% and I suppose there's a professional who did it for Barry Perry. The NBA has recognized him as one of the all-time great free throw shooters. To rephrase, your granny shots are stocks that tend to stay high or have a low failure probability, but even though they are negatively impactful, they are linked to the key ideas. We find companies that have the strongest correlations to various themes. But our main premise is that we can predict which topics will be most important in the next decade, such as millennial structural issues, augmented reality, cybersecurity, and so on. Put simply, is a better chance of success for that stock due to the increased number of possibilities available through Bitcoin, exchange traded funds, and similar products. In terms of inflows and outflows, ETFs have recently had some of their best months, which supports the claim made earlier. Well, when you look at January in particular, I mean, from the 16th of April until the present, we have been seeing a significant increase in inflows, which is strikingly similar to what we saw in December when the figures were absolutely mind-blowing, especially in November when the election super cycle was in full swing. This is something that we have recently noticed back in November or even October. Basically, what we are seeing is a huge increase in liquidity and capital flowing back into the markets. This clearly shows that people are willing to take on more risk when it comes to investing themselves, which is a very positive sign that we are heading in the right direction. Nonetheless, the most important metric is the growth of the available capital. Without a major black swan event, we observe tremendous gains for the cryptocurrency market as a whole. It's going to be the most important stimulus for this bull run and the next one, which is going to happen in 4 years, and it will determine how high XRP can go. $200, 0 cents per coin. Every time the money supply is increased, which is about 6 weeks after the first increase for your inquiry. Yes, that is a legitimate possibility that you should all be on the lookout for. On the other hand, I know that many of you simply do not have the time to catch every single low and high that the market offers. It's a challenging beast to tame, but we are lucky to. If you have the kind of team that can pull that off and you can copy every move I make in the markets, you can make a killing. I'm talking about a 400% rise from 1 month to the next. We recently finished 2 deals, one of which was up 65% and the other up 18%. Given the current state of the markets, and we expect to be more of them this month too, if you join one of our 2 partner exchanges and put down $100, 0 cents, you can ensure that you'll get a free slice of everything.